धीरे करना उसको. Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be telling you that how to create a JavaScript random image capture generator here, or text capture generator. So you can see this is the application we will be building here. So you can see here we will be generating random numbers here. So this is kind of a capture here that you visit. You have seen these on websites for authentication purposes. So here you just need to write the capture here. If you just write here correctly, then it will show a correct message. So if I click submit, now you can see it is correct capture. If I make any sort of mistake here, then it will say incorrect, please try again. So if I refresh it, you will see automatically this will generate the capture for me. Automatically 7 characters will be automatically generated. If I refresh the page also, you will see automatically it will generate a random capture. So we are just generating random characters every time when we load the page or hit this refresh button. So this is kind of a captcha generator. So, so these letters will be written here and you need to fill out the captcha. So if you make a mistake here like this, incorrect, you need to correct this. So if I correct this, you need to refresh it now. So GD1Y. So you can see correct. So we will be trying to build this captcha validator kind of an application inside JavaScript, guys, using HTML and CSS. So we will not be using any sort of framework for this. So if you're watching it for the very first time, then please hit that like button, subscribe the channel. So for this topic, I have written a complete blog post which on my Web Ninja developer website. So this is the complete blog post. You will find all the source code here. So simply go to the description of this live stream to download all the source code. So so you can go to the description of this live stream to get all the source code. So let's get started by building this application, guys. So first of all, we will just make a simple file here which is captcha.html. So here we will just give it a title which is called as captcha generator in JavaScript. So first of all, we need to write the HTML for this application. So HTML will be very easy. So what we need to write here, basically we will have a div which will have a class of center. Inside this we will say that captcha validator, and then we will have a div which will have the ID attached to it of captcha background. So inside this we will have a span tag having the ID of captcha. So here we will have the captcha text out there, and then we will have the input field. Basically we will be giving, this will be of type text. So here we will be having a simple input field where you will write your captcha. So we need to give it an ID of text box, and that's it. Then we will have two buttons out there inside this div. So the first button is to submit the captcha. So input type will be submit. We will also be giving a ID to it of submit, and then we will have another button which will have the ID of refresh to refresh the captcha. So this will also be type of submit. Then lastly we will be showing a span tag which will have the ID of output. Here we will show the result whether the captcha is correctly written or not. This is all that is required for HTML. So now we need to style this. So we just need to include style.css. In the root directory, just make style.css. So here, guys, first of all we need to change the body background color to this color, which is uh, E3. This is hexadecimal code E3BDEF. This is the color. And also we need to target this captcha background ID. We need to give it a fixed height of 200 pixel and a fixed width of 250 pixel. And here we need to change the background color to this color, which is 7B807F. So we will also be giving a image to it. This is coming from the URL. After this, if you refresh the application now, you will see this is the image here, which is changed here. You can now see this is the image that we have given here. Now we need to simply, basically what we need to do is that we need to change the display property of this to flex. We need to align the items in the center position, justify content to also center. Flex direction, we need to change it to column. Then we need to style the captcha text which is written. So we need to give margin bottom 1 em. Font size we need to change to 30 pixel, and letter spacing. The spacing between the letters we need to change to 3 pixel. So if you now see that, you will now see this letter spacing in between the characters is 3 pixel. Now we need to just style this input field here. Basically, if you see inside captcha, this will be a refresh button. So now we will be styling this center class that we have given, the parent class. So here we will change the display to flex direction to column, and we need to align the items in the center positions. So just do it. So after this, guys, we will be styling the submit button. So basically submit margin top will be 2 em, margin bottom will be 2 em, and text box ID we have given. So we need to change the height of this text box to 25 pixel. So it will now have a fixed height here in the center position, you will see. So inside this button, I need to give it a label to this button, which is called as submit. So now you can see that, guys, the interface is almost complete. So we also need to add these two classes here, which is for the where we will be showing the result. So this will be red text, and the color of this will be red, and font weight will be bold. Similarly, we will have the green text. This one, the color will be green, and font weight once again will be bold. That's it. That's all. The interface is complete. Now we just need to write the JavaScript code here. So simply you need to now include this file script.js. Simply just create the script.js file. And the very first thing we will do, guys, here, basically we will now get all the references of all the DOM elements. So first of all, we will get the captcha text. So for this, we will use document.query selector, and we will given this ID to it. So we will target it by the ID. So also we will target the user text, document.query selector, text box here. Then we will also have the submit button, document.query selector. This is a submit button. Then we will also have the output, and lastly we will have the refresh button. So we have given the ID refresh. That's it. So after getting all these references, guys, we will be declaring a alphanumeric array, which will contains all the characters here in capital letters A, B, C, D. So what I will do is that copy this array. So this will contain characters, numbers, all that stuff, which comes inside alphanumeric characters. If I scroll down, you will see A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K. Now in smaller characters, A, B, C, D, and then we have the actual numbers from 1 to 9. So this is called as alphanumeric characters. The numbers characters in both alpha, capital and normal, small letters. So this is your alphanumeric array, guys. We have declared this. Now we will have another empty array. This time this array will be empty. And here we will run a simple for loop, guys. So we will simply run a for loop. So let I is equal to 1, and it will run for 7 times. So we need to generate a captcha here, so I plus plus. So inside this loop, what we will say is that empty array dot push, and here we will be using alphanumeric array, and for this we will be using the math dot floor method, which is there, and here we will pass the math dot random method, which is there to select random characters from this array, and we just need to multiply here basically the length of the array. So we can calculate the number of elements present inside an array by using the length property dot length. That's it. So this will each and every time it will give a unique character inside the captcha by using this mat.random method. So after this, guys, we need to now write this inside this array. So what we can say, captcha text dot inner HTML, which is equal to empty array dot join method we will use, and we will join it by a empty space. So now you can see that automatically, if you refresh it, automatically random captchas will be generated. You will now see. So you can now see automatically random characters are generated each and every time. So we need to do the same thing when we click the refresh button also. So we need to bind the on click event handler here. So when we click the refresh button, I need to repeat the same thing. So we need to refresh these characters. So we have got the reference to this refresh button. You will now see. We just need to basically attach a on click event handler. So add event listener. So when we click this button, basically we need to call the same method. So basically we can write the same method here, refresh button. So first of all, we need to uh, declare another refresh array here, which will be empty by default. And then we need to do the same thing. We will use this for loop here also. Logic will remain the same. Here you just need to replace refresh array. That's it. And then we need to say that captcha text inner HTML is equal to refresh text array join method. That's it. So if you again click this refresh button, guys, it will also refresh the captcha here. It will again return a random set of characters, 7 characters. So now we need to bind a on key event handler here. So when we submit this, we need to click the submit button and we need to get the result. So this is very easy. We have got this submit button also reference here, submit button. So we need to bind a on click event handler to it. So when we click the submit button, we need to check the captcha which is entered by the user, whether it is correct or not. So here we will be simply be checking the value which the user is there, user text. So we have got the user text reference here, text box reference. So in order to get the value, we will simply say user text dot value. Here we will compare it triple equal to, and here we will say captcha text dot inner HTML. This will be arrow function. So if these two values are the same, if the captcha value matches the value that is typed by the user, in that case we will simply say output dot class list dot add. We will add the green text, and then we will put the inner HTML to be equal to correct captcha. And in the else scenario, basically if the captcha is not correct, then in that case we need to add a different class to, which is equal to red text. And also we need to say inside inner HTML incorrect captcha entered, please try again. So now what will happen, guys, if you try to write the captcha, let's suppose you write it correctly. In that case, if you click the submit button, you will see correct captcha. If you just make a mistake here, incorrect captcha entered, please try again. So we need, this time we need to show the red text class. So let me see if I declared this class or not. So inside style.css we have defined this class which is called as red text. You can see that red text we have defined this. Incorrect captcha entered, please try again. So you can see it is now working. This guy's application is now working. Basically we can also do the same process if I click the enter key on the keyboard without having to click the submit button. If I press the enter key on the keyboard, I need to do the same thing, same validation. So for this we can simply add a key up event handler. So basically right here, so we can attach this to the user text input field. So we can add an event listener here which is called as key up, and this will be the callback function. So inside this function, guys, basically what we will do is that there is a key code available for each of the keys available on keyboard. So 13 is equal to the key code for the enter key. So basically if enter key is pressed, then we need to submit the form. So here we will once again perform the same operation. Basically we can paste this condition. So what will happen basically if you try to enter this, and if you press the enter key now, you will now see it is saying incorrect captcha. 1JQ. So correct captcha. So you can see without having to click the submit button, we are able to submit the form by pressing the enter key on the keyboard. So this is all. This is your application, guys. We have simply made this captcha validator kind of an application inside JavaScript without using any sort of third-party framework. If you like this video, then please hit that like button, subscribe the channel. I'm seeing that people are not liking the content. Only 3 likes are there. So just like that content. If you have any sort of question, you can ask me in the comment section. Okay, definitely I will make that ant library.